Today's game is brought to you in HD TV by Harris Corporation, world leader in broadcast systems for high-definition television. David Hall, Orlando's Pool, Ted Hillary have their seasons validated. They're the officials for this second semifinal.
Jim, the last time we saw these two in a Final Four situation, it was for the big championship. And at that night, if you remember correctly, everybody thought that Duke was a heavy favorite. Came into that game #1 in the country, and it didn't work out that way.
It was a dazzling game. 3-point final for UConn, and the Huskies in the dark uniforms as a 2 seed. Duke a 1. Duke gets to wear the home whites.
And right away, you can see Duhan on Brown, not on Gordon.
Right into Okafor, back to the rim, and it's Boone pulling it back out for a second try.
Good, strong rebound over Dang. So Duhan's going to be on Brown to start the game. Believe me, he'll be on Gordon before this game's over.
That one is knocked away by Sheldon Williams. Ewing with a pull-up 3, and out to Reddick, quickly to Duhan. A lot of snap on this floor at the start.
Oh, we're talking about teams that have a lot of talent. Solid screen, looking for the lob, nothing there.
Ewing, that one is intercepted by Anderson. Brown with Duhan back. In and out, Boone put back, and again Sheldon Williams with a hand on it, but Talik Brown with the trees inside scores.
Well, remember in the last game that we talked about, it was Ricky Moore, a guy who wasn't expected to score much, who came out hot in that first half to set up Connecticut in great shape.
Williams backing in. Okafor gets the shot, heavily influenced by that great shot blocker, and Williams fouls right back after the miss.
Well, exactly what Connecticut could want. Here we see Talik Brown going on the inside. He's so strong, doesn't mind finishing. And there's Boone with his second big play in this game. Williams thinks he has it, but Talik Brown gets it right back. And Jim, exactly what Duke didn't want to have happen. Okafor stops Williams' shot, then Williams picks up the over-the-back foul. Boy, Okafor, you can tell he's in much better shape. Posting up strong on Williams down inside. Doesn't look like that back's giving him any trouble at all.
He's had that back issue, and then that stinger that he suffered last week in the regional final win over Alabama. Gordon, 3-point shot, and the first 5 to the Huskies.
Good rub-off by Gordon inside. Boone doing an excellent job so far in this ballgame, setting screens. He got the opening tap and has been on the boards. Little indecision here by Duke to get the play started.
And Reddick flips it over. Ewing with Anderson manning him. Ewing gets pinned, corner, Dang, 3, no. And Gordon arms it. Up to Reddick.
There's a hold by Brown, gets by with it. Good defensive adjustment that time by Connecticut. Brown got by with a hold. Could have been an intentional foul.
How about Reddick just having his arms up as he was going back and had no idea where the ball was.
But you can see Connecticut wants to push this ball up the floor.
And Duhan will be shooting free throws. Both of these teams, Billy, interesting. Their brackets were pretty busted up, and as a result, they didn't really have to play high seeds to get here. Look at here's the case for the UConn Huskies.
Well, a 15, a 7, a 6, and an 8. A lot different than what we saw in the first game with what Oklahoma State had to do.
Talking about not having to play a top 20 team to make it to San Antonio.
But we have seen national champions get that way. Remember Kansas back in '88? It seemed like every time they had to play a tough team, they get knocked off the game before.
Duhan gets Duke's first point. A starter in the championship game 2001 in Minneapolis as a freshman.
Oh, Dang got by with a push off that time on Boone. Duhan not looking for the open jumper.
Boone gets a hand on the shot of Dang's.
Here's that matchup we talked about. Okafor did a good job.
Williams backing in Okafor. He finally puts it up. Second try. No. And that ball, hold on, that's going to be a foul, I believe, on Okafor.
Okafor on a push from the back. You can see what Okafor is doing to Williams, and Williams standing up to the challenge pretty good, but Okafor's such a great shot blocker. Williams giving him a lot of respect, and in this particular case, puts it up so quickly, misses the chippy. And there's the little foul over the back.
Duke's missed his first 6 shots.
And there again, Dang giving respect to Okafor's shot blocking ability.
Duhan.
He loves that shot. He's very good at the floater. You've got to give him the jump shot, stop his penetration.
Puts it up there soft on the rim.
He does. And watch Gordon come out from these screens and square up on that jumper.
Pull up jumper, and 5 points already for Gordon. 7-3 Huskies.
And Mike Krzyzewski may have to make a move earlier than he anticipated, and that is to put Duhan on Gordon if Gordon's going to get off this way.
Is Redick, gives it up, Dang.
Well, again, respecting Okafor so much, there's another foul on him, however.
Is that going to be a Mecca? It is. Wow, that's the story here in the first 4 minutes. 2 on Emeka Okafor.
And Jim Calhoun very upset over there. He probably is going to have to make a change early, and this is what we talked about. The key to this game, Williams and Okafor. Okafor can't believe it's his foul.
Boy,
he's going to have to sit.
He better be careful. He is just furious at this call.
And there you see the body contact that he made. Legitimate foul, but Okafor's going to have to sit down.
And they're going to have to bring in Villanueva.
Now that means you're going to have Jim on the floor in a Final Four game. Your 2 big guys are freshmen.
Talking about Boone and Villanueva on the UConn side, but they learn how to play with this lineup during the Big East tournament when Okafor, look at the anger, the disappointment, despair. He'll sit with the 2. And these 2 combined, talking about Villanueva and Boone, to carry the Huskies into the Big East final without Okafor. Then they beat Pitt in the final with them. Here's Duhan coming out.
They've got to watch Redick for the jump shot.
It's Ewing. In and out. And Anderson collapses in on it.
I thought that Duhan had kicked that ball out to Redick for the jump shot. Good fast break opportunity. Duke has had a number go in and out, up tight. That time Ewing beat Gordon to the spot.
That's Anderson, and he'll shoot 3.
Bad shot and a bad defensive play by Redick. Why would you foul a guy that's shooting a gliding 3-pointer?
Redick with the hack, and again shooting a 3. And I talked about UConn in his bracket. Look at Duke, the highest seeded team it had to beat. Illinois in the Sweet 16.
I will say something about those last 2 teams they played, however, Illinois and Xavier. Jim, we saw Illinois play very poorly in the Big Ten tournament, but then they really turned it on, and nobody played any better than Xavier did, winning all 4 games in the Atlantic 10 and then marching through until that final of the regional against Duke.
What a good-looking team Coach Thad Matta put together. I saw Sean Miller, one of his assistants, out here at the Final Four, and that team, I mean, it looked like a Final Four team by the end of the tournament. We're talking about Miles and Sato and Chalmers.
Well, remember, they were in great shape. Miles with 16 points, 10 rebounds, 12 minutes to go, and picked up those 2 fouls that put him out of the game, just as we see Okafor sitting over in the sidelines right now, very unhappy with his position. Anderson, who is a great shooter, particularly from the perimeter, has made a big lift since he's been in the starting lineup for Connecticut.
All right, the 6-point lead for UConn, Duke's largest deficit of the tournament. One thing about Duke and Coach K, Billy, 1 win away from tying Dean Smith for the most wins in the NCAA tournament in history.
That's some pretty big company right there. Ooh. John Wooden, you got to remember now, when John Wooden coached, they only played 4 games to be the national champion. So you have to remember that, but certainly not taking anything away from what Mike Krzyzewski has done in this era.
Duhan free for the 3.
Not the shot that he would like to take, but you can see well scouted that Connecticut has it. They're going to give him that shot.
Villanueva.
He can make that shot.
3-point shot by the freshman.
Yes, sir. He can make that shot. Changes entire philosophy as to how Connecticut plays. A nice 9-point margin right now for Connecticut with Okafor sitting down.
And they got another big guy on the floor, number 11, Hilton Armstrong, as Redick fires back. Bouncing around, chased down Sean Dockery on the floor for the Blue Devils. Recovers.
Had Williams open inside, didn't get it to him in time.
Duke is 1 of 11 from the field to start this game.
See, they're going to give Dockery the shot as well. Whoa. Yep, what you have right now is Connecticut has done a beautiful scouting job on Duke. They're playing Redick and making him shoot the ball, not making him put the ball on the floor. The other guys, they're giving up the shot on the outside. Ewing didn't hit that first one. That would have changed the complexion of things.
This is precisely how the tournament has gone thus far for the Huskies. They have not been threatened in this tournament, getting out the big leads, including a huge lead at Phoenix. Villanueva, too strong, had put it up with the left hand, and then his old roommate in high school comes out with it. Dang.
Again, see, the ball comes out. Dockery's not going to take that shot.
Look at Redick from 25.
Not a good shot. When you're down like this, you've got to get better looks.
Look at Villanueva. An 11-point UConn lead.
And Mike Krzyzewski's going to go bigger. He's going to that bench. Ewing back in. He realizes he's got to get some points. Connecticut, I really love the way that they have decided to play this team. That's a push. Armstrong on the inside. Great hands by Villanueva. And an excellent pass. You saw him step outside, make the three-point shot, and then get on a break. Dang and Redick both go out. Redick's got to calm down a little bit, taking shots much too quick.
Boy, he has some soft touch. Talking about 6'11" Villanueva. Hilton Armstrong is hit with that foul.
But Connecticut can handle that. He's in the game for minutes and to commit some fouls.
And Armstrong rejects.
And another one.
Randolph put back and one. Armstrong commits his second.
Now that is what Shavlik Randolph could not do last year. He had all kinds of medical problems with those hips. He could never finish strong. He does it here. Terrific job, though. You can see Armstrong just giving up his body. Here's the shot. Now watch him go up, gives up his body, and still makes the shot.
And that breaks an 8-0 Husky run. Shav Randolph, heralded North Carolina schoolboy athlete, two-time state player of the year. Broke all of Pistol Pete Maravich's scoring records at Pistol Pete's high school.
Well, they brought him at a 50-point game. Here's a steal. What's Ewing going to do with it? Talik Brown's pretty good against these.
Villanueva with the rejection, but Randolph again in the right spot.
Gordon does the wise thing, settles this team down a little bit. And boy, it's nice to have the ball in the hands of a senior guard.
All-time assist man in UConn history. This time commits the turnover. Thursday, when the crime scene is a construction site and the murder weapon is a hammer, how will CSI track down the killer? It's America's most watched drama, CSI, Thursday at 9, 8 Central on America's most watched network.
Hey, Jim, Denham Brown comes in for the first time. In the last 10 games, he's only had 39 points. We're talking about the first 10 games. This guy had 158 points. Which player will he be tonight?
Ewing down and out, and Boone sweeps. We've got Dang back on the floor for Duke.
Great crossover dribble and recovery.
Gordon, too strong that time, but Boone's in the right place and almost had a three-point opportunity. This freshman is really the one above all who stepped up when Okafor was out for the Big East quarters and semifinals.
Well, that probably should have happened, Jim, because you remember before this season started, Jim Calhoun likes to ask his fellows, who do you think should be in the starting lineup? And Okafor stepped forward and he said, Josh Boone belongs in that starting lineup, and he's never been out of it. So
now Boone had 16 rebounds in one Big East tournament game, which was the tournament record for a freshman. Think of all the players that came through in that tournament through the years, and they had 15 in the semis. Already got 4 here in this one.
A little short.
And that's over. That's last touch by Villanueva.
And Duke has not gotten in any semblance of of a half-court offense so far. Everything's been kind of 1-and-1. Team's been scattered. But a lot of that should be because of Connecticut's defense. They're giving up jump shots to the non-shooters and taking the jump shots away from others.
Duhan. Look at that snatch by Villanueva. Talik pushing it up. Bounces it in. Boone wasn't ready.
Well, you couldn't ask Brown to do much more. That was a perfect pass. Boone should have been able to catch that and put it away.
Anderson's checking in. You got to, just knowing him, he's such a gunslinger. He's ready to knock down a three. Made 6 in the first half in the last game.
Now you have 4 very good shooters on the floor for Connecticut and Boone in the middle. That means Gordon will play the point guard position.
Dang with a 3. Got it. That first 3 of the night for Duke. They had missed their first 5.
Now let's see how they try to match up with this team.
Looking away, but bouncing around. Will pull up, take the jumper. All Duke underneath. Dockery comes busting out.
Mike Krzyzewski right now just down 5, having a chance to keep Williams on that bench so he doesn't pick up any more fouls.
Duhan off the glass. Beautiful move.
He loves that slashing layup.
A 9-1 stretch here for the Devils, who wore down 11. And that's a traveling call.
Right now, without their point guard in the game, Connecticut having problems. Ben Gordon's going to have to handle that ball more.
16-13 Connecticut. Mike Krzyzewski took Duke to the final for the first time back in 1986. Lost to Louisville, but 1 month after that, UConn hired this man in May of '86, Jim Calhoun, and he might be a Hall of Famer, Billy, on Monday.
Boy, what a doubleheader that would be. Could you imagine a man being inducted into the Hall of Fame or announced to the Hall of Fame and winning a national championship on the same day?
Who's ever had a better day than that in the history of college basketball if that happens?
Well, a hold on the inside on Brown, who was brought back into the game to settle things down for Jim Calhoun. Jim, there are so many interesting things about teams in the NCAA tournament. Imagine this. Connecticut, with 34 wins all time in the NCAA tournament, has never beaten the same team twice. Is that mind-boggling?
You're trying to do it right here. Look at Dang.
Now, will Jim Calhoun come back with Okafor, or is he going to say, no, as long as we can stay in this ball game, I'm saving him for the second half? And remember, Mike Krzyzewski doing likewise.
To Boone, and they say Duke touched it. Get instant information, updated live scoring, shooting percentages, rebounds. You can find it all at CBSSportsLine.com. What's your hunch about that, Billy?
I think as long as they stay in this game, he keeps Okafor on the sidelines. And Mike Krzyzewski's going to do the same thing as Williams if he can keep the game close. He doesn't want him in any foul trouble. I think Ben Gordon's got to get a lot more touches now. Here he comes. Duke playing packed way back inside right now.
Anderson, here we go. Three-pointer. Well, he was hitting them last week and has the 3 free throws at this point in this game.
That was a good move by Reddick, not to challenge Brown with his dribble. Brown, a much better defender than Reddick is a dribbler.
Duke has a chance to take the lead after trailing by 11. Randolph with Armstrong behind him. Strong move by Shavlik. Randolph for Duke's first lead of the night.
Beautiful inside post move that time by Shavlik Randolph.
Gordon, beautiful step to the basket. Back to the rim. Looked like it was between bank and swish.
And Gordon is down, so they've got the numbers, has Duke.
Ewing, give on Randolph. Huge start to the game for Shav Randolph.
Timeout Calhoun. He does not like what he's seeing out there right now. And he hates to look at Okafor on that bench.
Duke on a run here, 15-1. You remember how dejected Emeka Okafor was when he went out with 2 fouls? Look at him now as Shav Randolph just controlling things inside. He's hit all 4 of his shots Pulled down 3 rebounds.
And Williams back in the game. Randolph gets a good, well-deserved rest. Williams with 1 foul on him.
And again, it's a 15-1 stretch. Back to Boone. Lost the handle going up. Tip. Nope. Boone again. Yes.
The 2 freshmen played volleyball with Duke right that time. Villanueva had one also just come out.
First basket in over 4 minutes for the Huskies. Dang, Williams has position. One more try. Lost it going up. They'll say a reach-in foul on the Huskies.
Williams so powerful with that upper body strength. Now we'll see the tip, and he lost it, Jim. And Boone has had a problem. There you see Villanueva's tap didn't go. Boone stays right with it and puts it in. Freshman, freshman, freshman.
Basket.
Basket, right.
And that foul was on Rashad Anderson. 7th team foul, just the first on Anderson.
Up to the point that Williams came back in the ball game, he and Okafor, out of 20 minutes, had only played 11. So you can see Jim Calhoun sitting over there and saying, as long as we stay in this ball game, Okafor is going to sit right down on that bench. He does not want him to pick up his 3rd.
Former 2-time Oklahoma Player of the Year, grew up less than an hour away from Stillwater, and he's a Duke man now. Sheldon Williams, the 1 of 2 right there.
And you see they're saving Duhan, having Ewing play Gordon this entire first half, except on a switch. And there's Duhan on Gordon. Nice pump fake.
Wild shot though, and it comes out to Reddick. He sees the advantage. He's got Duhan, the trailer, ding, and goodbye. And another timeout. Whoa. Calhoun points right at Rashad Anderson. He is furious at that defensive effort.
Wow, I've never seen him get in a guy's face like that.
Georgia Tech on Monday night will play for the school's first ever national championship in basketball. Never been in the final before, and here Duke is trying to make it an all-ACC final with a 22-18 lead. How about that Calhoun reaction?
Oh, he was hot because Anderson made no attempt whatsoever to draw the charge. He just did kind of threw a blankie out there and let him go ahead right in for the layup.
Gordon rattles out. Villanueva keeps it active, and that's going against Ewing.
Luol Deng showing the jump shot from the outside. We know he can catch the ball in the break. There's a good finish on the inside. And there's the play that Jim Calhoun was so hot about. He came right out almost to the foul line, Jim, to get in Anderson's face.
Villanueva will shoot 2. That was the first on Ewing.
And remember when this team played Connecticut at the start of the year, Okafor was slightly injured, certainly not up to par, and Villanueva did not play in the first 6 games this year.
Back at the start of the year when
Georgia Tech
played Georgia Tech in the semis of the NIT. And Georgia Tech beat UConn by 16. That's Ewing floating and spinning out. Boy, they've had some really unusual misses. Look like they're in. Trailer, Boone, no foul, and Ewing clears.
And now Duke's got the numbers, and you got to look for Reddick right now. You got to keep an eye on him.
Well, Williams is left alone. Easy shot.
There's where Villanueva does not have the strength to stay with him. Boone much better able to stay with Williams down in that low post.
Reach around. That's the second on Sheldon Williams.
And Jim, most big guys that get into foul trouble on foolish reach fouls, and that was Williams. He'll be down the rest of the half.
Remember, this was 15-4 UConn at one time. Duke's up 5. Jim Nance with Billy Packer and Bonnie Bernstein in San Antonio. Duke's on a 20-4 run. You know, Billy, the Big East in the national semifinals all time, 7-0 against non-conference opposition. When they played another Big East team like Providence and Syracuse, St. John's and Georgetown, they've only beaten each other 7-0, but UConn is down here right now.
Duke zone on the out-of-bounds situation.
Boone, look at his passing. Brown, Boone keeps it alive, and boy, he's active.
He sure is active on the inside. He's done everything right in this game so far, except he's had some tough catches on the inside that he wasn't able to execute. But Jim Calhoun, the story of this half has been Okafor sitting on that bench after only 3 minutes of play.
And of course, Sheldon Williams down now, Billy, with a 2 as well.
We probably will see both of those fellas spending the remainder of the half on the bench.
Duhan with the floater. That's the shot you told us he loves.
He loves to shoot that floating, running one-hander. You've got to make him take jump shots.
Villanueva.
Not a good shot.
Wild shot. And it's Randolph.
Another push-up looking for Redick.
Redick hasn't made one from the floor yet. And there's cutting to the basket. Chad Randolph back to the line for 2.
Great unselfish play by Duke there. Dang, making the extra hit inside. Terrific play. Randolph goes in. Villanueva fouls him, or else he puts that away, so it was probably a pretty good foul.
Villanueva's first. We're talking about how Randolph last year battled injuries and was misdiagnosed. Really missed the last 6 games. Did not play in the NCAA tournament. Thought it was a foot injury. Ends up it was a hip injury. He was trying to compensate. He sawed off a tennis ball in half, stuck it inside a sneaker, trying to compensate. All kinds of maneuvers to try to stay on the floor. But just now here, down the second half stretch of this season, are we seeing the player that everybody had talked about coming out of high school?
I would agree, Jim. His first game, he started and had 23 points and 7 rebounds against Army, but he was never what was expected of him, and you got to go ahead and say that injury had an awful lot to do with it. The young man was in a lot of pain and never could get in the condition that he's in now.
Ewing second. Dockery will come in for Ewing. He'll go out with the 2.
And right now, with 7 minutes to go, if you're Duke, think about Redick to try to get him going from the outside with the 3. If you're Connecticut, get that ball inside. Let Talik Brown make some handoffs. Oh.
Taken away by Dockery.
Seems like every time Talik Brown does not make the offense move, there's a turnover.
Duhan almost stolen by Gordon. Dockery plants the feet, puts the 3 up, and boom, with the release to Talik Brown. Gordon on the way in, and that's a block foul on Duke. On Randolph.
So difficult to stop Gordon with that great elevation on the inside.
Monday on The Late Show, you can catch Jessica Simpson, Nick Lachey, and later in the week, Dave's All New with Jimmy Fallon, Usher, and Bruce Willis right here on America's Most Watched Network. That's now 2nd foul on Randolph. 3 Duke players with 2 fouls. Randolph, Ewing, and Williams.
Gordon with that great stretch. 81 points in the Big East tournament. Set an all-time record, leading the team to the championship there in that great game against Pitt in the final. And now the leading scorer so far in the NCAA tournament as well. Great run.
Denham Brown back in for the Huskies. Not only the leading scorer in the tournament, but also with that one-game standout 36-point effort against Alabama last Saturday.
Well, they say that as Jim Calhoun said, the best half that Connecticut has played this entire season. And a lot of it was because of Gordon's tremendous play.
Redick.
Over the back, and that could be number 3 on Chadwick Randolph.
It is.
I don't know why Redick is wanting to drive the ball down in there, to be quite honest with you. I realize Okafor's out of the ball game, but he's got to get on track from the outside with his jump shot.
Sheldon Williams is returning, Billy, because of the 3 fouls for Randolph, and he knew it right away that was a big one.
You know, with 6:14 to go, I think this is a risky move. What would you rather have, Randolph with 3 or Williams with 3? I think you'd like to go in the second half, if anything, make sure that Williams only has 2. Uh-oh, it looks like Duhan, with all the problems he's had with his ribs and never did come out of a game, now with a little scratch on his elbow, he's going to have to get it looked at.
And Ted Hillary brings him over. You see a little blood on the uniform, but the situation is arrested, so we'll put Hilton Armstrong at the line.
You can break my ribs and I'm not coming out. You get a little blood and you're going to take me out of the game. Long.
Randolph with 3, so Williams on the floor. Let's see what happens. Looking for another big body. They got Nick Horvath. Hasn't seen action. Underneath, that's Dockery.
You saw that play set up. Dang had his eye on him the whole time.
And Brown lost it for a moment. Talik Brown.
Beautiful shot. Young man who was among those 3 great guards to come out of New York. Barrett, Cook, and Talik Brown. One of them got to a Final Four.
We saw Andre Barrett, or Duke saw Andre Barrett earlier in this tournament, and there's the near steal. Yes, dang. Directs a little traffic. Redick, he wanted to go to the basket. It's taken away. Behind the back. How about that? Bouncing it in. Armstrong. Pinned underneath, and it's Redick.
Not good plays by Duke.
Boy, helter-skelter action traveling.
And there's a case where Redick is just go ahead, pull the ball out to the side, get the ball back to a ball handler, and then get a kick out for a jump shot. Redick not making good decisions at all out here.
Armstrong out, and Villanueva returns.
Duke with numerous opportunities here, Jim, to extend this lead, not taking advantage of it at all. I think you have to be careful when you got a guy like Williams with foul trouble. You don't want him catching the ball on the break, running into somebody.
Both teams shooting under 40%. With 5 minutes to go in the half, 8 baskets, 8 turnovers committed by the Huskies. Brown, and that's going to be a charge.
Dang doing a good job that time. Talik trying to get on the inside. Jim, you're talking about both of these teams shooting poorly. They're both teams that shoot 48% and 47%, so very much out of character.
What are they going to do with Talik Brown? That was his second.
They're going to take him out of the ball game and let Ben Gordon be the point guard.
Dang, yes. Again, right over his old roommate.
You think that those two ran that play before? Now, Talik Brown has to be very careful now because he's got a sub coming in for him. He doesn't want to pick up that third on a charge. How about Duhan? It's like a blanket, isn't he?
Well, Gordon had 5 quick points in this game, but things were settled down for him. Underneath, and UConn turns it over again.
Both of these teams having players trying to make plays that are not in their arsenal. That time it was Boone.
Shaman Tools, number 30, is coming in for the first time for the Huskies. How about that ding basket here against his old Blair Academy teammate and roommate?
Yeah, that was a terrific play on his part. Both of those guys with so much talent.
They get Talik out of there with the 2. They bring back in Rashawn Anderson, and for the first time, Tools.
I am shocked that Williams is still on the floor.
Touched by the Huskies. Under 4 timeout. Duke has matched its largest lead of the night, 7 in front, after being 11 down early. Emeka Okafor continues to sit. He played 3 minutes and 55 seconds before collecting his second foul. Georgia Tech wins on a Will Bynum basket with a 1.5 seconds to go, and a thriller over Oklahoma State.
Jim, really a calculated move here by Mike Krzyzewski to have Williams on the floor with 3:57 to go, and he's got 2 fouls on him. I'm really surprised he's out there with Duke in the lead.
Redick comes off the screen, plants the feet, hits the 3.
That's Redick's game. Now watch this, Gordon and Duhan. This is a matchup.
That basket by Redick, his first points of the night. Villanueva over Dang this time. He answers back. Take that.
A little one-on-one action at Blair Academy. Replay.
I would think they've done that a few thousand times.
Well, it's good to see them both step up to the challenge. There's a lot's going to be asked of them here the remainder of this first half.
Tools, a lockdown guy, is all over Redick with that one.
And Tools is talking to him a little bit, too.
That's Dockery.
Blocked.
Look out. Who's this on? It's on Sheldon Williams.
Jim, I think that was a huge mistake by Duke.
That's his third, and going to bring in Horvath. And you saw the Sunday night lineup with 60 minutes, cold case, and then all kinds of interesting new dramas. Not only cold case without a Trey CSI Miami. It's Sunday night's lineup here on CBS. Boone at the line, the 1-and-1. Poor free throw shooter, and it rattles out, but Tools underneath.
Horvath with the foul. Duke had an 8-point lead. You've got Williams with 2 fouls. You got Okafor with 2 fouls. Williams stays in the game. Remember his last 2 fouls, Jim? Just little reaches. That's what puts a big man down. And now that really changes the complexion of the second half. And I really think Jim Calhoun is just trying to get through this first half to get there. He was behind against Duke when he came back at halftime to win the national championship in '99, and he's just praying that this clock will run off so he can get Okafor on that floor.
Double bonus, 2 shots. Shimon Tools will shoot 1 more. This team has struggled all season long, and they have not had really any tight games in the tournament, so it has not been exposed in the tournament.
Tie games, Jim. They've won the last 6 games by 23, 13, 17, 17, 20, and 16.
2 bricks.
They're shooting as a team 62%, and that counts the 83% that Gordon gets them. So the rest of the guys way down there.
Dang jumper. Horvath knocking it out. Oh, they say it touched Boone. It'll be Duke ball. Denham Brown back in.
So the object here with Horvath, steal minutes. Commit some fouls if you have to, but just steal some minutes. Provide some size for Duke. A lot of minutes having to be played by Boone and Villanueva in this half.
Boone has gone virtually the whole way. Horvath, the 2-year captain, big body inside, and did not see action here until the final 3.5 minutes. It's Dang, Villanueva committed. Now he steps in, takes the 2.
That's what makes him so tough. He's got the outside shot, the medium range game, and obviously can finish.
And they've got a 10-point lead. We've had double-digit leads on each side in this half. Denham Brown with the 3.
This is huge. Yes. This is huge. Denham Brown, as we know, can be a great outside shooter. He's just been in a slump the second half of the season. That was a big shot for Connecticut.
As you said, he hasn't been able to score. This is a guy who one time had 111 points in 1 game in high school. 111. Game up in Canada. Under 2 minutes to play.
Dockery should have cut through and given Dang a clear out right there. I think he was ready to take Villanueva.
Duhan set up for the shot. Villanueva was there with Boone.
Opportunity for a little comeback here for Connecticut to get tight.
Gordon wants to get into it, and he draws the foul on the dribble drive. Coming up, singular at the half with Greg and Clark and Seth. Going to analyze the first half, plus they'll be joined by Paul Hewitt right on the set. Plus the singular greatest championship game poll. And a reminder, you can still vote. That's all coming up. Singular at the half. It's first foul on Duhan.
You remember the great 3-point shooter Chris Smith with a tremendous crossover dribble. He used to get on my case when I said he was palming the ball all the time. He had the all-time record of 3s at Connecticut until this man on the foul line eclipsed that.
Would that make UConn 7 out of 14 from the line? Duke's percentage is even worse.
But that's all right when you get Gordon on the line. Mike Krzyzewski wants a timeout. Minute 36 to go. Connecticut hanging in there.
It was 10. Now 5. Cut in half by the Huskies. Thursday, the most difficult challenge in Survivor history, they tell us. Will leave you breathless, so they say. And you will find out on Thursday, an all-new Survivor episode. Thursday at 8, 7 Central, right here on America's most watched network. What will we watch here the last 136 of the half, Billy?
Well, what you see is Jim Calhoun now up there willing his team on. He just wants to get the halftime, keeping it close, realizing the performance by his team is not what they're capable of.
Duhan got hacked on the way up. Chris Duhan.
First team all-conference player. One of the great defensive players that we've seen in college basketball in recent years. Duke, of course, has had their share of, what, 5 defensive players of the year. Shane Battier being the last that won multiple years.
All those players like Billy King and Tommy Amaker and Wojo on that bench now. Duhan with one more. Duhan last season such a disappointment. Trying, as he said, to be too perfect. Was supposed to be, as they said, preseason player of the year. Ended up 13. Look at the tip in by Horvath.
Huge play there, and Jim Calhoun saying the man fouled to get in that position.
Puts the lead back to 8. Brown backing in Reddick. And that might be Horvath.
But again, Jim, when Horvath comes into the game, unlike when Williams is in the game, you can afford to have him pick up 3 fouls or 2 fouls. It doesn't make any difference. You're just trying to steal minutes.
And that is his second. Well, Okafor has been sitting since the 16:05 mark with the 2 fouls.
And Jim, that had nothing to do with injury. That had to do with foul trouble picked up early, just being aggressive on the defensive end.
You know, when he first sat, the Huskies went on an 8-1 run. But then it turned totally in Duke's favor. Brown, 1 of 2.
Duke still employing the 3-guard offense with Dang being a swing man. Well, Boone got by with a foul and nobody coming to the ball. Duhan wisely calls timeout. Mike Krzyzewski angry, had to give up one on that way.
55 seconds to go in the half. We'll be right back to San Antonio. 39-32 Duke, and the Blue Devils 21 on the shot clock.
Jim, so much hype about these two teams. I don't think either team has gotten in sync, playing anywhere near their capabilities in this first half.
Reddick comes right off the screen. Thought he was fouled, and Boone plucks it out of the air. He's got Denham Brown. Oh, and Dockery with the theft.
Oh, and a push. No calls here.
Reddick pushed off. Gets the layup.
Oh, there were a couple of plays by Duke that they got away with fouls, and maybe a walk on Reddick to score. Jim Calhoun livid on his side.
Can almost run it down all the way.
Here's where it hurts to have Talik Brown out of the game, because he would be the man to set it up. Great overplays by Duhan. Gordon is so good at going down inside and coming off screens, but Duhan's right there with him.
He's got 20 on the shot clock.
What Gordon ought to do is reverse himself so that Duhan can't beat him out over the top of the screen. Just go back to it. Oh, a push off, no call. Going for the last shot.
And they'll run it down, it looks like, as far as they can. Gordon eyeing that shot clock over the basket. Now driving in, steps up, gives it up. Boone, yes, with 6 seconds. Brings it to 7. Duhan with a second to go, puts up the shot, no.
And actually turned the ball over and got by with a travel. Very sloppy first half by two teams that can play much better.
An 18-point swing for Duke from 11 down to 7 in front. 18-point swing over the final 13 minutes of the half. Let's go over to Bonnie.
Chris Collins, Okafor with the 2 early fouls. How were you able to take advantage of that in the post?
Well, I think it gave us an early opportunity to start driving. When he's under the basket, it makes it tough with the shot blocking. Our guys started driving a little better, and we were able to put some points on the board.
All right, now you got foul trouble with your big men. Randolph's got 3, more important, Sheldon Williams has 3. What do you envision strategy being in the second half?
Well, we have to play smart. We can't get any cheap ones. A couple of those fouls were reach-ins. We got to still be physical, but play smart out there.
Chris, thanks. Thank you.
All right, we'll be sending it back to Greg Gumbel and the guys when we continue from San Antonio in just a moment. Saturday night, maybe a Saturday night to remember. We're going to see Emeka Okafor come back on the floor. Essentially a 20-minute game for him. No factor with those 2 fouls picked up so early in the first half.
Jim, Williams also starting. Now let me point this out. Okafor on the year, 79 fouls, has fouled out twice. Williams, 115 fouls, has fouled out 5 times. I think the guy that gets in that 4th foul first is the guy that's going to be playing on the losing team.
How about that? Both teams dreadful in free throw shooting in that first half. UConn was 9 for 17, but Duke was under 50%. There's Williams. Slipped out of his hand on the way up.
Boone is hurt. I think he got hit in the head.
Now he's shaking it off. He's not going to want to come out. A little shot to the nose.
Here's the difference, too. You have Okafor, who's going to be able to play that one-man zone down there because Boone will actually be on Williams, which means that Okafor doesn't have to play him head-to-head. On the other end of the floor, however, it's going to be Williams on Okafor. Williams with 3, Okafor with 2.
Was it the right thing to keep Okafor down the whole rest of the half?
I think Jim Calhoun had to. And particularly when he put him down there and had the lead at that time, and his team got off to an even better start once he sat down.
Well, as it started to slip away, he must have really felt they could own him in the second half with him back in the lineup. And that was deflected by the Blue Devils with 10 on the shot clock.
Jim Calhoun telling Boone, they're not guarding you. Go ahead and shoot the ball. And you know why he wants that? He'll shoot it. Who's coming in the weak side to rebound and miss is Okafor.
And again, Gordon did not make a shot from the field once Okafor went out. Anderson on the floor, dribbled off his leg. No, last touch by Redick. No time went off the shot clock.
Mike Krzyzewski jumped right out here. He didn't get in the position to be at 10 Final Fours. The best winning percentage in the NCAA of any active coach.
I'm sure this is what he's talking about. There was 10 on the shot clock. There you go. They take 1 second off.
Officials waiting down here while a little confab. That's the kind of thing you want as a coach, to talk about to a referee about something you're not arguing about. You know, the guy, figures you've got something going there.
And that was last touch by Talik Brown.
Isn't it amazing how often tonight it seems that Boone is the one in the ball handling position, both catching the ball inside a lot and trying to handle it. Looking for Williams.
And he's got Boone behind him. On the floor and a timeout called.
Kicked that one right off his foot on the dribble. Had he been able to keep that dribble alive, he had an easy basket.
Sloppy play continues in the first minute of the second half. 41-34 Duke.
Duke 41-34 over Connecticut. And what bothered Huskies coach Jim Calhoun more than the Blue Devils' 30 points in the paint, how about 17 points off 11 UConn turnovers. Calhoun said that's just unacceptable. They were more aggressive than we were. This is the first time, incidentally, Connecticut has trailed at the half in the tournament. Calhoun said, I'm not worried. We're only down a few buckets. We've got Okafor back, and he's only got 2 fouls.
Sheldon Williams for the second time, Bonnie, in this half, sees it slip right out of his hands on the way up. Yet not only the first time they were down at the half, they've actually been leading by an average of 18 points a game at halftime in the 4 tournament games coming in. And that's Ewing too close.
Jim, you know what's amazing about that? When they played for the national championship, Connecticut was behind in that game 10 times that year. They were behind at halftime and came back to win every single one of those games. You don't find that often.
They were down 39-37 was UConn in that championship game against Duke to come back to win by 3. Randolph back on the floor with his 3 fouls. And Ewing, that was his 3rd as well. And he's out. Gordon high in the air for the jumper, wildly tossed toward the rim.
Well, I'm going to say he was fouled on the shot because he doesn't make that kind of an errant shot.
And Randolph off the Duhan dish.
Amazing that they wouldn't have played Duhan to pass that time. There's Okafor. There's the 4th foul on Randolph.
Boy, he's having such a good night here is Shav Randolph, but can't stay on the floor, and they're going to bring in Horvath.
And Randolph got himself in a situation with, and again, being a young, inexperienced player, Okafor did a good job positioning inside. Randolph tried to hold him off. Experience paid off there. Can Connecticut get Okafor in the game offensively, though, Jim?
Timeout, Ben Gordon.
Both teams have wasted a timeout in this half.
Sunday on 60 Minutes, did a male nurse get away with murder at one hospital after another? That story and more Sunday on 60 Minutes. UConn to inbound.
Well, what happened right here? Horvath was trying to get in between Boone and Okafor. Got there a little bit late. Nice piece of officiating here to get them separated.
Don't you feel like, though, you said it a moment ago, when will we get to see Okafor get involved in the offense? He just needs to score here to kind of settle his team down. Hasn't scored.
Hasn't touched it.
Really, it took one shot on that first half, and again, under 4 minutes of action. Boone.
Oh, what a
Look at that play. One-handed save as well by Dockery.
What a play. Gave up his body.
Wow. You see why he's the all-time assist and steal man in Illinois high school history. Duhan tipped in, and it's good by Dang.
Ball took a funny bounce in the rim. Okafor misjudged it. There's Okafor getting low post position.
He'll head to the line.
And see Dockery, who can afford to go ahead and take a chance on the reach here. Doesn't want to see Okafor get started. What a strip, and then some save. Well, Dang made this kind of play against Xavier, didn't he?
He did indeed.
Yes, sir, and you got to block that big man out of there.
Emeka Okafor to shoot 2. Again, this team is 9 of 17 from the line.
And again, point out, last year, remember, Jim, the finals, there's his dad, mom.
Celestina and Pius had come over from Houston, driving right down I-10, about 3 hours away, where family's from.
And that has to make him feel good to go ahead and get a shot that kind of goes in the basket.
His first point of the night, Billy.
Solid screen. Horvath has that wide body.
Bouncing it in traffic. Horvath on the floor.
It's good not to call the timeout there because it's going to be arrow pointing Connecticut's way, but you can't afford to waste another timeout just for a possession save. Horvath, a fifth-year senior, understanding that.
Malik Brown was looking ahead toward the bench trying to see what they were sending in, but realized Dockery's on him, and he's a tough defender. Almost comes away with it.
And
they do. Yeah, forces it. Coming in. Okafor got a handout. Brown waiting, looking for help. It's Boone. It's off the glass.
That's a charge.
Nope, it's not. It's going the other way.
I thought that Dang got there in time. Tell you, Boone has been involved in so much of the offense. Okafor, very little of it. Wow.
You know, Boone in that first half, Billy, worth noting, 11 rebounds for the freshman, and 7 points in that first half.
Yep, only 1 turnover and a block. Sensational first half.
His team all season long haunted at the line, and people have been trying to tell Coach Calhoun all kinds of solutions. Why don't you guys practice it more often? But the truth is, since the first of the year, this young man right here, Mark Bukowski, a senior and manager of the team, has tracked every free throw since October when they officially started practice. They've attempted over 43,000 in practice and shot almost 80%. Regular season, about 62%. It's usually about a 10-point spread, practice to game action, but almost 20 for this Husky team as Duhan launches. Horvath on a push-off, or is that Okafor? Horvath. Oh, now, boy, I tell you, Okafor was holding his breath.
Was that huge? Was that huge? Jim, one of the things that you might need then is a sports psychologist. If you've got the, if you got the ability at 80% when you're not in the game, let's see this play. And Okafor his heart stopped right there until he saw which way that call was going.
Boy, they're calling it tight, but look at the Duke situation inside. They bring back Sheldon Williams. You've got Horvath with 3, Williams with 3, Randolph with 4. Jumper, Gordon's first one since the early minutes.
So you can count on that when he gets that little short 12-footer and just has that tremendous ability to elevate.
Within seconds of being 20 minutes on the game clock between baskets by Gordon.
Again, they'll give up the shot from the outside for Dockery. Duke has had no luck from three.
Cutting in, Dockery gives it up. Williams, and
that's three.
That is on Okafor. Bumped him with the body.
And Okafor, who loves to play kind of that one-man zone, there was one extra pass there. Now watch this. Pass, Okafor's ready for a block, and then that other pass, and that's what caused the foul. Terrific job interior-wise by Duke. And Jim Calhoun's going to have to take him out again. Can you believe this?
Hilton Armstrong will take his place. And Okafor not able to really get into this game at all.
Well, see, Jim, what you're doing, and he's such a great shot blocker, he stays on the ground, but that one extra pass got him elevated into the air, and then he had to recover, and it was too late.
He's set at 3:55 into the game, and now 3:54 into the second half.
And Boone, the ever-present man out there for Connecticut, keeping them in the game with another rebound.
13 rebounds on the game.
Double screen, Duhan fights through it.
Anderson, Redick influenced that shot, tipped out by Armstrong. He got the save. Anderson gets the three. That was Hilton Armstrong to set that one up.
Anderson doesn't have a fancy rotation on that, but now you can see his determination. Big shot for Connecticut.
They've been waiting for Anderson. That's his first three of the night, coming off a 6 made against Alabama. Sheldon Williams backing in, twisting on Boone, and how about that? That's a huge call. How about how tight this is being called?
Well, there's why Boone did a terrific job. Williams, as I said, has a tendency to reach on defense and use that hook move on offense. No question about the foul.
Number 4 on Williams. All right, folks, let me jog your memories. Remember, Billy said just before the start of the second half, the first one to get 4 fouls, if it's Williams or Okafor, his team will lose.
Well, you're putting me right on the spot here, okay? I'm going to stick with that, and I'm going to go back to the first half when Williams had 2 and could have been on that bench not picking up the third one.
That's Gordon and Armstrong. Oh, Duhan got a hand on it.
Boy, I'll tell you, that was just a great defensive play by Duhan. He realized that Armstrong was going to be, that Gordon was going to be picked up, so he anticipated where the pass would be thrown and was able to knock that out of bounds. Just such a smart defensive play.
And there's the steal by Ewing, who's back on the floor with 3, but he stepped on the end line.
You know, one of the reasons this game has no flow, and obviously you got to call it out of bounds, I don't think the officials have allowed this game to get a call. He was out of bounds and then came back in bounds, and there you have to make that call. No question about him being out of bounds. But both coaches somewhat frustrated. 35-second shot clock reset.
Interesting that UConn went with Armstrong instead of Villanueva to take Okafor's position on the floor.
I'm surprised Villanueva has not gotten back in the game because he's got the offensive ability to get this game back in gear. They're just down 4 points. And he doesn't have to worry about being so tough on defense with Williams out of the game.
This is Armstrong. It's Boone with Randolph with 4 fouls.
And what Mike Krzyzewski will do, he'll play Randolph as long as he can.
He's going to bring Okafor back in.
Yep. He's going to play Randolph as long as he can before he has to bring Williams back in there, hoping Randolph doesn't pick up his 5th so he can have him near the end of the game. Double screen for Redick.
Redick on the run, and that's on UConn. How about Randolph's minutes in here?
Been outstanding the first half. Terrific low post moves. Did a great job coming in from Williams. Instant offense in that first half. It was interesting in the first half. The bench for Duke, 6 for 8, 8 rebounds, 13 points. For Connecticut, 4 for 8, 9 rebounds, 12 points. So balanced right out there.
That foul was the second on Rashad Anderson, and here comes Okafor. He doesn't even sit for 2 minutes. Set for 1 minute 43 seconds. Back to the floor with 3 fouls.
Well, you got 14:23 to go. The difference between him having the 2 in the first half and Williams having the 3 makes a big difference as to how fast Calhoun can get him back in the game.
No surprise, Reddick drills them both. So Okafor, his first hoop of the night.
I'll tell you, the player of this game has been Boone, without question. That was, he caught that ball on the run, 2 dribbles, and made a play. Now, Dang should take Boone off the dribble. When he's got him out there playing him, he should take him off the dribble.
Reddick. How about that? He challenged Okafor, who had to back off and got the shot to drop.
That was amazing. Big overplay that time by Duhan.
Denham Brown, Okafor snags it, dunks it.
A little difference when he's on the floor, isn't it?
I'd say. Just a little.
But I really think that Duke can go and make Boone have to play Dang right now on the outside.
Ewing and Okafor saw that one. He wanted to swat that one away, but beautiful shot over the outreach.
Again, Randolph should not be reaching. Oh, what a shot.
Ben Gordon.
Now we're getting a little flow to this basketball game.
First time all night. 52-48 Duke.
We're talking about a team that in Connecticut averages 78 a game, and a team at Duke averages 79 a game, and normally have free-flowing offenses that you like to watch.
That basket at the other end, or a moment ago by Ewing on their last possession, his first points of the night. He averages 13. Here he's driving, looking for more, and the push outside on Gordon. Get complete coverage from the men's basketball championship. Recaps, video archives, tournament games, press conferences. You can find it all NCAAsports.com. For Gordon, that's 2.
And give Duke players a lot of credit, Jim. Even with Okafor back in the ball game, they're still driving the ball to the basket, knowing his great shot blocking ability and that of Connecticut. #1 shot blocking team in the country. There they go again.
It's Ewing. Gordon backs off.
And another foul. Now, Gordon is not playing good defense right there. He never squared up. He allowed Ewing to break the corner, and then at the last minute he tries to reach.
And now he has 3, Billy.
Yep. That's just weak defense on his part. And he's probably going to have to come out.
Daniel Ewing at the line. Another Houston area kid starting in this Final Four. How about this? Of the 20 starters, Billy, 4 of the 20 came out of Houston area high schools. What a area now so filled with talent. You're talking about Okafor. Talking about John Lucas. They were teammates. McFarland and Ewing.
And how about that team with this man Ewing on the floor, TJ Ford, who we obviously got to see in the Final Four last year, and McFarland.
And Taylor of Texas.
Right. 2 straight top-notch championships in the state of Texas.
You can hear Tommy Penders now down the new man of Houston thinking, I'm going to get some of that talent. Here's a
push
away from the ball.
Again, neither team can get into a flow. This game has been refereed in a way that neither team has been able to function.
That's 3 on Anderson.
Now, if you're going to start putting Duke on the line, and you know how well they can shoot free throws.
Struggled in the first half, though.
Yeah, but, you know, you got to figure statistics will eventually balance out. Here he goes again.
Villanueva back on the floor, and he blocks that one.
Probably been on that bench a little long, hasn't it? Villanueva showed in the first half he can get some things done.
Put back up by Okafor.
And that was blocked by Dang, but he didn't get quite enough of it.
54-50 Blue Devils. Dang outside, yes.
Mike Krzyzewski down the floor, smacking the ground in that classic Duke defensive move, trying to tell his guys to get a stop here.
Going away to 3. And look at Reddick coming in.
Right now, Anderson better keep his eye on Reddick. Right now, this is the kind of time that Duke likes to look for him. Coming off a double screen. Here he comes. He's open.
Three-point shot. Yes. No. Oh, boy.
There's a push inside. Yep.
That's as good a look as he'll get.
But that's what Duke likes to do. That was a very good offensive set. Duhan goes over and grabs Reddick and say, "Yay, keep putting them up. You'll hit that open shot."
A foul on Talik Brown, his third. 56-50, Duke in front.
Jim, even though this shot did not go in, watch what Reddick does here to get himself open. And what you want to do is get your good shooter good looks. And this was an excellent look for Reddick. He will make that shot normally. Look at how he squares up. Ball goes off. But then fortunately for Duke, there's a foul. And unfortunately for Connecticut, it's on Talik Brown.
Connecticut brings back Hilton Armstrong, and they take Villanueva out. He played only a minute. Reddick with a three. Yes, this time.
Same spot. Brown just couldn't get there. As I said, you set up a man with good looks, and a guy like Reddick will eventually hurt you.
That's Gordon.
Oh. And you're talking about taking Duhan 1-and-1 and getting that shot over Dang. He is some scorer.
He's got 14. Gordon for Connecticut.
That's a hold inside by Anderson. He's not beating his man. Connecticut really breaking down defensively, and we're talking about, because of the way the game's being officiated, the players have not adjusted. Normally a very good defensive team is Connecticut.
And that's 4 on Anderson.
They hold opponents to 36% shooting on the year. They do that with good hard-nosed defense, but the way the game's being called, they're not able to do much at all here.
And they're already in the bonus, 1-and-1, 17 fouls.
And what this lead is enabling Mike Krzyzewski to do is to keep Williams on that bench for an extended period of time. Horvath hanging, and Horvath not in there now. Shavlik Randolph being able to hang in there. Now a hold on the outside the other way.
Okafor, since he returned, remember he picked up his third foul 4 minutes into this half, came back after a minute and a half down. That last foul, Billy, was on Duhan. He has 2, and it's also a 1-and-1 at this end.
Now you have the one solid free throw shooter in his starting lineup for Connecticut. You kind of get the feeling Reddick, who came over and hit Gordon after the shot. Both of these teams would like to have those two men in the game on the line at all times. And there's Williams waiting, and Mike Krzyzewski will hold him to as long as he can. You hear the people counting in the background. That's the Duke fans saying he's taking too long to get the shot off. They're like the Cameron Crazies have moved to San Antonio.
Yes, indeed. They found their way here. No surprise. And being hurt. Dang on the run. That's Okafor.
And Dang anticipated Okafor's shot blocking ability and threw that up a little bit too high in the arch. It's not a block, but it was an alter.
Under 10 minutes to play in a 5-point game. Denham Brown, jumper, yes. He's hit some big ones now. One at the end of the first half. And it's down to 3.
Jim, what I felt would happen, although Duhan did not start on Gordon in the beginning of this game, he is now on Gordon the rest of the way. And I think that's what we're going to see, a Gordon-Duhan shootout.
Dang. Oh, what a block by Okafor.
Huge.
Oh. He wants it at the other end. Turnaround jumper. Yes. Down the one. Emeka Okafor coming on. And that's 8 unanswered for the Huskies. Okafor with the block and the basket. 9 points all in this half. And we got a 1-point game.
He's going for the kill right now.
Hey, this is out, guys. I got it now. Duke led by 11 at one time. Now just one.
And Mike Krzyzewski did not want at the 9-minute mark to have to go back with Williams, but because Connecticut has made this move, Williams comes back into the ball game. Randolph sits down.
And look who's back on the floor for the Huskies.
Absolutely. Jim Calhoun now is going for the juggler.
Josh Boone has returned. Kept them afloat in the first half. Ewing in and out, and it's Boone snagging it.
Now you've got a control factor. Dang is going to be on Boone. I think if you're Duke, what you want to do is make Boone play Dang on the outside, because he stays down around that paint, and he and Okafor will control all his shots.
What a bad time for that for Talik Brown. Traveling.
Right now, Jim, you've got Williams down there with Okafor on him. So Boone is playing Dang. Remember early in the game, that was not the defensive assignment that Jim Calhoun wanted. He wanted to save Okafor to be the shot blocker he is.
Jumper, Ewing, yes. Back to three.
There's a big turnover that time by Talik Brown.
Okafor challenging the man behind him with 4 fouls. Left hand, yes, soft touch.
Well, if you're Connecticut, why not keep going there? Williams can't afford to foul. And Okafor wants that ball. He's fresh. Obviously, the injury is no factor in this game. And Denham Brown has to be aware of number 4.
Under 8 minutes to play. Reddick. And that's going to be Denham Brown with the body. His first.
You can see once he gets the ball, Williams has to play off. Okafor does a nice job with his footwork coming back with the left hand.
Wrong man to send to the line. Who else would you want to put there if you're Duke other than J.J. Reddick? Missed 7 free throw attempts.
Number 2 in the nation this year in free throw shooting.
The whole season, though, Billy, and he had that streak, that ACC record, 54 straight made. 1-1.
Broke Jeff Lamp's record. Of course, last year he set the Duke record with 43 free throws in a row. The record for free throws in a semifinal game, Jim. Now this is just
I know,
you know this
layup.
one, you know?
91.
Jim Spinarco, 11 for 11.
Oh.
12 for 12, excuse me, Jim. 12 for 12 again.
You got them both for the 63-60 Duke lead. There's your game summary. Jim Nance, Billy Packer, Bonnie Bernstein. One thing to note, Duke has only 1 timeout. UConn with 2. These 2 teams preseason 1 and 2, and they both spent time at number 1. UConn 8, Duke 4 weeks at number 1. We've been waiting for this glamorous matchup, and it's been a game without a flow, and starting to see signs that it is starting to pick up here. Settle down just in time here for another wild finish.
And Jim, that number 1 position for Mike Krzyzewski's the 7th straight year at some point in time he's been number 1 in the country.
That's amazing.
Zone defense now for Duke. First time they've shown this, with the exception of out-of-bounds situations. Ben Gordon looking to get open.
Skip pass, Denham Brown. In the lane.
He likes that shot.
Oh, yeah, soft touch.
Against the zone, is able to penetrate. Break down defensively for Duke. I wonder if Mike Krzyzewski will stay in the zone to try to save Williams.
UConn has made its last 5 shots. Ewing coming through, and Okafor had to give way.
Well, you know what Ewing did? He went right into him with his chest and then bounced off the collision to get the opening for the shot. Pretty smart play. He got by with it. He anticipated the contact.
Gordon. Short on the floater.
You notice how neither team has been able to get any fast break opportunities in the second half. Played very tight to the vest.
Duhan resets. 3-point lead. Looking for more. Driving in. Okafor tips it over right to Dang. Redick's open. He's dangerous. He hits.
Boy, that was a brilliant play by Dang. He had a jump shot, but realized out of the corner of his eye that the best shooter on the team was open. Huge play by the freshman.
And Redick now with 15, 10 and a half. Talik Brown has a strip.
Here's Redick open again.
This would be a killer. Nope. Front of the rim. Denham Brown.
Pretty good job by Boone coming over there to change that shot just a little bit. Duke goes back to the man-to-man. They just showed the zone one time down the floor. Boy, Okafor has gotten the job done when they get him the ball. I don't know why they're not getting it back to him.
Blake Brown, good move. Too strong with the shot. Sheldon Brown says, get out of my way.
Nice piece of officiating there. Not to call the ticky-tack foul. Now remember, Duke with just one timeout remaining. Double screen up top.
Duhan.
He loves that move.
Oh, yes. Banks it home.
Ben Gordon has not stopped any dribble penetration in this game defensively.
Calhoun says, I've seen enough. Timeout. 7-0 run. 7 unanswered. And Duhan with the answer right here over Okafor and Gordon, the 2 stars of the Huskies. Strange discovery reopens an old murder case. The investigation could lead to one of the most powerful men in America. It's on a new cold case tomorrow night at 8, 7 Central on America's most watched network. Now each team with one timeout.
Jim, I'm really surprised that Connecticut has gotten away from getting the ball to Okafor. Every time he's touched it in this second half with any kind of chance at all, he's been productive. And here he is in position.
Big bang.
And what happens? Absolutely, there's Williams out of there.
Yep. They were really banging inside, and that'll be number 5 on Sheldon Williams. Yes.
And that, you know, Connecticut just had to be more patient. Give an opportunity for him to get position. Williams tries to fight him off. Okafor bangs in. Williams tries to retaliate, and there's the foul.
And Coach K is going to maximize the time here, use it like a timeout before he puts in the new player. I'll tell you, Talik Brown has been harassed here tonight by that Duke defense. 4 points and 6 turnovers.
Well, if you're Connecticut right now and Talik Brown as a senior, you've got to recognize one thing. Number 50 is a teammate of mine, and he's the guy that's got to touch the ball the rest of this game before anybody else shoots it, unless Gordon's wide open. Force Shavlik Randolph, who's also in foul trouble, to be sitting over there and make Duke go the rest of the way with Horvath.
Again, Randolph with 4. It's a 1-and-1 for Okafor.
Jim, this young man, defensive player of the year in the Big East, player of the year in the Big East, and academic player of the year in the Big East. That is a trifecta that I don't think you'll see in any conference very often, ever.
I don't think there's anything any better than that. Although I will say this, National Academic All-America of the Year.
Yeah.
Graduating in 3 years.
Now, can Gordon stop some of this dribble penetration? He's trying to keep the ball away from Duhan now, so Duhan can't start it.
Ewing with a 3. Yes!
Huge.
What a shot!
Huge! Everybody anticipating the drive. Ewing takes the outside shot.
Ewing with 11 and a half. Brown stutter step brings it back out. Ewing looks like he's hurt. Anderson, 3 at the other end. What a big one that one is.
And again, though,
Ewing is hurt.
Ewing is hurt. Probably got a little Charlie horse hit right there. Mike Krzyzewski kind of ignores him as he runs by. He wants him on the floor.
Duhan tries the same shot that Ewing hit.
Oh, and over the back goes Boone.
It'll be a 1-and-1. It's the second on Boone, and the CBS Sports Line stat of the game. Points off turnovers. Huge edge for the Devils. Complete Final Four coverage. CBSSportsline.com. And Dockery replaces Ewing with a big second half. All 11 of his points in this half. Last time he was in San Antonio, Daniel Ewing, he was at a Willow Ridge High School in Houston, and he just came over here to pick up the Texas State High School Player of the Year award in San Antonio. Now he's back trying to take his team to the championship game. Oh, big miss there. Dang, and it comes out to Gordon.
Oh, what a move.
Faked out Duhan, lost control, back into the arms of Duhan.
Duhan recognizes he doesn't have numbers. The clock and the score are in his favor. Wisely pulls it back out.
Boy, after that move by Gordon, it looked like
he froze everybody, didn't he?
Yeah, it looked like a huge opportunity there for UConn to make a dent into that 6-point lead.
Surprised Dang doesn't take Boone off the dribble. There's a foul.
He'll be double bonus now the rest of the way, and Mickey Krzyzewski says yes.
Jim, you know, one of the things that has brought to my attention watching this game, I really believe that because Connecticut blew everybody out, they kind of lost sight of the hard-nosed defense they've played throughout the course of the year. Games may have been too easy for them because they have really been broken down defensively in this game tonight.
That was the 4th foul on Ben Gordon. I agree, Billy. Plus, remember the way they started this game.
Yeah,
they had a 15-4 lead.
Absolutely.
It was like, hey, here we go again. Williams out, Randolph on the floor with 4, and now UConn with Gordon and Anderson. They're outside threats with 4 each.
It was the last tough game they played almost 3 weeks ago when they had to play Pitt in the Big East Championship.
And they made a comeback from about this deficit right here with this much time to go. They'll need to do it again. Duke, 75-67. These two have had 2 memorable tournament games. The Leitner shot in overtime in 1990 as Duke advanced, only to meet again in the championship game in St. Pete in '99. Richard Hamilton with 27 as UConn upset Duke for the championship.
Boy, can you remember Connecticut 2 days before the Tate George shot from the corner that beat Clemson that set up that Leitner. So great exhilaration and all of a sudden heartbreak in the same kind of situations.
UConn tighten things up and bring us back to a game-winning shot in the end here. And that is a push off on Randolph. And that's it.
Well, I would fault Connecticut in the last 4 or 5 possessions not getting the ball exactly there. And they've wasted a number of possessions. Okafor just cannot be handled by players with 4 fouls on him. And that's 5 for Randolph. He's out of there. So Williams is out of there, and it's going to be Horvath.
Horvath the rest of the way.
Probably Horvath and maybe a zone, Jim.
Nick Horvath got a year back because of a medical situation, medical red shirt, double major 2-year captain. We'll see. Vital minutes here in San Antonio. Each team with 1 timeout. Again, Duke utilizing the full time it takes to reinsert a player in the lineup, and that will be Horvath.
Yes, and Ewing is going to go back in the ball game, probably for Dockery to get some offensive thrust out there. So you've got 3. You actually have 4 perimeter shooters, counting Dang as well. Dang's going to have rebounding responsibilities as well. So it'll probably be Horvath on Okafor. If Duke decides to play man-to-man, they may even go zone for a while.
This will be a 1-on-1 for Okafor. He already hit 2 just minutes ago. And struggles at the line most of the time. Both teams have missed 9 free throws. Make it 10 on the UConn side.
Just a 51% free throw shooter. As I said, those statistical averages will eventually balance out. Spread out now is Duke, playing everybody above the foul line. Looking for some backdoor cuts, extending this defense.
Dang, 3-point shot.
Not the shot you want in that offensive set.
Give Talik Brown credit. He boxed out way outside on Ewing to get that board. This is a big one. Anderson rattles it home.
That was not the shot you wanted the freshman to take if you're Duke. Let him put the ball on the floor and beat Boone, but don't try to shoot over him from that distance.
A miss at one end, then a make at the other to bring it to 5. 2:24 remaining. UConn came back from 11 down to win the Big East final against Pitt. Their margin here, largest margin tonight, 11 as well. Ewing steps back to the
Got
rim.
to question both of those shots. Numbers for Connecticut.
Gordon looks behind, spins, and it's like Ewing on a reach-in. It's going to be on deck.
Mike Krzyzewski cannot believe that his guys are taking shots with seconds to go on the shot clock, and particularly taking shots out there when they can penetrate.
It's on Duhan, Billy. That's his third. It's double bonus the rest of the way on each side.
And Gordon has 4 fouls, right? So
Gordon has 4.
Absolutely. So if you're Duke, what you want to do is to have the ball in Duhan's hand, let him penetrate on Gordon, who can't afford to foul him.
Again, double bonus. And he's 6 out of 7. He's, like as you pointed out, the only one that you can depend on consistently. Villanueva seeing little action in the second half.
Surprisingly, after an outstanding first half. He had 8 points. He had 5 rebounds. He had no turnovers. But he has been on that bench most of the time since.
75-72. That's 5 unanswered for the Huskies. 2 minutes to go.
I think Duhan should keep that ball alive and make Gordon stop his dribble. Gordon has 4 fouls on him, remember.
Ewing fights through, and that ball looked like it was kicked. No call. 13 on the shot clock. And a defensive play. Okafor with 10 on the shot clock.
Here goes Duhan.
Drives in. Boone has a hand on it. He calls the timeout. That's the last one for the Huskies. But they have possession down 3. Just scratching and clawing the way back. We'll be right back. Huskies again operate the rest of the way without a timeout. Billy, what do you see coming up?
Well, I really see, if you're Connecticut, get the ball to Okafor. Get Anderson out on the wing, Gordon out at the top of the key. Get the ball into Okafor first, see if Duke will collapse. If they do, kick out looking for the 3. If not, back out to Gordon, let him penetrate. But Okafor should definitely touch this ball on this sequence. He's got Horvath on him. And Duke looks like they're going to match up man-to-man.
Get the ball into Gordon with 1:30 remaining. Tries the right side. Gordon dumps it inside to the man you asked for. Okafor, turnaround shot, got it. Down to 1.
That was
1-point game.
Excellent play by Connecticut. Now, if you're Duhan, you got to force Gordon, who's the guy that you know Connecticut's going to want to start their offense with. You got to force Gordon to guard you if you're Duhan.
1 minute remaining, up 1. Duke has not hit a field goal in almost 4 minutes. Who will take this huge shot?
See, they don't want to go into Horvath.
Dang. Over the top of the backboard, UConn ball.
With Williams on the bench, they can't go to Horvath. And you can see Okafor can take him anytime. Go right back to him again if you're Connecticut.
UConn has not led since the 11-minute mark in the first half and trailed by as many as 11. They've scored the last 7 points. Brown on the drive. Give up Okafor. Shot for the lead. And rattles out. Tipped around by Boone. Back to Okafor. UConn leads. Josh Boone kept it alive. Duke has 1 timeout. Will they take it here? Yes. How about Josh Brown again making the play to keep it alive and give Okafor the second chance and UConn the lead. Duke led with 3.5 to go, 75-67. UConn with 9 unanswered. The tip by Boone over to Okafor for the lead. Now, no timeouts on either side. What are you looking for?
Jim, what I would think Duke would do, get the ball in Duhan's hands, make Gordon guard him, keep it away from Talik Brown. And Gordon with 4 fouls on him. See if he can stop the penetration by Duhan.
So The corner to Reddick with 15 in the paint, lost control, loose ball picked up by Anderson, and a foul on Duke.
Mike Krzyzewski wanting a foul. He better be careful over there. You don't want a technical here.
He wanted a foul call there. And Okafor waving his arms. That was the fourth on Horvath.
Again, I thought that Duhan should have kept the ball in his hands. He's much better penetrating inside. Let Reddick be the man outside for the kick out. Anderson goes to the foul line.
With 11 seconds to go, again, double bonus, he'll shoot 2.
77% free throw shooting.
And 3 for 3 tonight. Those coming in the first half.
And this dictates what Duke does. If he makes this shot, they must go for 3.
That'll be the case. 11 seconds. They have no timeouts. Needing the 3 to tie. Reddick is the man to shoot it. He fires it short. Rebound UConn with 3 seconds to go.
Well, he got a decent look, had to alter the shot slightly, and you see how he moved and glided off to the left. And when he did that, Mike Krzyzewski upset. Calhoun feels that he has really dodged one in this game.
He's dodging something over there. Look at all those moves.
Okafor realizing as he sat on that bench in the first half that his dream of getting into the championship game was fading away. But I thought that Duke's shot selection coming down with Jim taking outside jumpers when they were so effective with dribble penetration really came back to hurt him.
UConn has scored the last 11 points of this game and shut down Duke without a basket for the last 4:40.
Well, you had no inside game, Jim. Williams had fouled out. Randolph had fouled out.
Emeka is smiling. He knows one will seal it. He's got 2 tries. Uh-oh.
3.2 seconds. Plenty of time on a pass to half court. Remember, no timeouts, so you can't get it up to half court and start your play. So they'll have to go the length of the floor even on a made shot.
Reddick starts to walk toward midcourt.
He makes this one. Ball game.
What a comeback. Duhan, his career will end right here. Basket counts, it doesn't matter. UConn is going to the championship game.
Well, Jim, UConn has now beaten a team twice in the NCAA tournament for the first time, and of all teams, who would it be? Duke. Isn't that amazing?
The 79-78 final. Remember, we showed you the Leitner winner back in 1990 in that classic game between these two? That was Duke 79, UConn 78. They flipped it on him this time. And Jim Calhoun on Monday has a chance to have one of the great days any single one person in college basketball has ever enjoyed. We'll announce the 2004 Hall of Fame class right here in San Antonio Monday morning at 11 o'clock. He is a finalist, and then that night his team will play Georgia Tech for the national championship. These two met early in the season in New York in the semifinals of the preseason NIT, and Georgia Tech beat them by 16. Although Okafor was not at all 100% on that night. What a comeback. 11 down at one time. The Huskies prove resilient again. And they have a date Monday night with Georgia Tech. Greg Gumbel coming up in a moment.